This is Terranol Twist Mesquite Performance Horses. We're on a mission to create a world-class 2-year-old program that specializes in the rein cow horse. Today we're doing a review video with Apache. This is his 9th week in our program. This horse here, we've been doing a lot of groundwork with him and a lot of just the basics of our one rein stops and getting him comfortable carrying us around. This horse doesn't seem to retain information very well, so we've had to just continue to repeat and continue to work on the same stuff to kind of make progress very slowly. So this horse, he's kind of been a slower learner and hadn't really been fully convinced that he wants to be a part of what we're doing. So it's just taking some time with him, but we just continue to work along on it, make progress, and put him in a good place after we've made some progress. So we've gone ahead and done some groundwork with him, just getting his feet moving, doing some backing exercises, doing some desensitizing, getting him thinking about being respectful and respecting us, and also kind of getting some of that jumpiness out of him. Kind of anticipate some of it a little bit here, but we just continue to remind him about all this stuff, and want to make sure that this horse especially keeps his feet still when I'm getting on and off. We make sure that every one of these horses does, and when I'm getting on them, on and off, I want their feet still. And so I'm gonna test it. I'm gonna make sure that he'll stand here, and if he goes to take off, I can pull his head around and I can get off. So I want to make sure that that's there. This horse still has a tendency of thinking he wants to bolt and run off, so we have to be cognizant of that, and it's just gonna take time. I want to remind him of this. I want to flex him, and we have to I pick up on this rein softly, I bump him off to that. He has to have some, this bump in this rein adds some urgency in order for him to come all the way around. He'll kind of tip his head a little bit, and then he has to be encouraged to come all the way around. At some point, he will learn and get off of that as soon as we pick up on this rein. See right there, he came a long ways around this way. I still need him to come around. So I pick up softly because I want this horse to be soft. And so I have to pick up softly. This horse, I need his attention here. And so we keep him busy, keep moving his feet so that he's paying attention to me more than anything else around. Because he'll jump, spook at things. Just highly reactive type horse. And so we just, he's getting better right here. A lot of this right here. So when I go to ride him off, I'm going to remind him we're going to do a lot of one rein stops. So I think on the third ride out in the big arena, in our other arena, he decided to run off, take the bit and run off and hit the fence. So since then, we're doing a lot more of, I need to make sure that that I have his attention and that I can get him stopped and soft. So ask him to move off, and then we're gonna stop him and get soft on both sides. See, he humps up and just act silly. And so I think something behind him is going to get him. And that's what will cause this horse to run off. And so we have to just be cognizant of that with this horse. It's a lot windier out here than our last location, so you know, it's something he's gonna have to get used to. But he will. What I like about this horse is when I think he'll be a horse that'll go all day. He won't ever, you know, a lot of geldings I've been around, they're pretty soft-hearted. They don't, you know, I tend to like mares where, because they just don't quit. They just, and this gelding, he's gonna be one that doesn't quit. So it's just been trickier to get him started. See that attitude, all that right there? There's no reason for all of that. He's been with us over 60 days now, and he still thinks he's still concerned with something behind him. He grabs himself. But we just keep working on it. Some horses just take a long time. They're just a mental block, blocking them from wanting to get along and wanting to do what you want, you know, what you're asking. And so they have to just be convinced over time. He's getting softer right here. Right now, all I'm working on is kind of cruising around on him and doing this one rein stop. I don't mind that there's a little magnet, that he has a magnet over here to this corner, keeping us over here a little bit, just giving us opportunity to work on this one rein stop. We're just gonna bump him off of that. Ideally, I pick up on this rein and he comes all the way softly, but he has to be encouraged. But he's lowering his head, so it's telling me he's getting a little softer right here. He's relaxing a little bit more. He's not such a hurry to take that head back and stick it way up in the air. So it's getting a little better right there. I'm gonna kind of steer him around a little bit. You know, I want to make sure we have this on him really well, you know, let's stop on him really well in this bigger pen. Some horses that are, you know, that are really trying to please you, and they're really trying to do what you ask, you can be more lenient with those type of horses. But a horse like this, you can't. You have to have your bases covered, because he's, you know, if he panics, he gets worried, he runs off, he's just thinking about himself. He's not thinking about anything. He's not thinking about taking care of you or trying to please you at all. And so this is a horse that you have to really put a good foundation on. Try to keep yourself safe. Keep yourself more safe, and then also him. You want to be able to keep him safe as well. We have worked him quite a bit around this arena, just on the ground, and so he should be pretty comfortable with it all the way around. But in case he's not, as I said, I want to make sure to have this one rein stop on him pretty good, so I can get him pulled around and stopped if he decides to run off. This right side is not as good as the left. This left side, you pretty much pick up on it and he'll give all the way around. This right side, not as much. Guess just not as comfortable with us. And he's more focused on everything else going around us than he is us. So we have to just keep reminding him that we're up here. And his job is to pay attention to me, not anything else that's going on. And that's hard for a horse that is more flighty and reactive. That horse just wants to be worried and concerned about everything going on around him. Right there, we're just walking around here. If he goes to trot off on his own, we're gonna pull him back down to a stop. I need this horse paying attention to me and controlling himself. Especially in this big pen, where he could get going pretty fast, run up and get in a fence or something. But we still, our job is to teach these horses how to control themselves, control their feet. And so we let him make the mistake and we correct him. I'm not going to hold him back. I'm not going to baby him. I'm going to put him in a situation where he has to take control of himself, take control of his own feet and his own emotions, where he just doesn't get to be fearful and run off. He has to pay attention and listen, do what we ask. That's why he's here. So he's walking off without me asking him right here. We're just gonna stay right here, keep flexing him. We're just at a walk. I have him on a loose rein. We're gonna, I do kind of stay moving around on him. I don't stay quiet. You don't want to sneak around on a horse like this. you sneak around, it'll make it worse. He'll get more concerned and worried and reactive. So we want to let him know we're here, keep him, make sure that he knows we're here. Just walk off. There. See, he's just walking off on a loose rein. That's what we're looking for. And we're looking for this behavior, all of our different gaits. We're gonna, we want to do it at the walk, trot, and the lope. We want him to be able to just take control of his own feet and emotions. And then when we ask him, he'll do what we ask. See, he's still just taking this bit and he's being stiff. I need him to give to me softly right here. The softer, the better we can get this, more responsive he'll be. And some of that's attitude. Some of that is mentality of, just wanting his own way and not wanting to get along. Breathing has a lot to do with that in a horse. That is, they breed for trainability. So it's important to look for. So it's important to ride your horses and put them through a training program so that you see how trainable they are. So that you can say, hey, I want to train this, I want to breed this horse or I don't, because this horse is trainable or he's not. Or it takes a long time to train that horse. And then it takes a really good person to train him. So the better minded a horse is, the quicker they'll progress through training. The better horse in the long run they'll make you. Again, every horse, I do think with enough time and patience, you can train them. Just some are quicker than others, depending on how their mind is, how willing they are. Good. Been doing a lot of that one rein stop, and so as soon as I pick up and I take my feet off, I'm thinking about stopping. And that's what it takes. Some can, some are pretty pliable. Some will take to that real quickly, and you can don't have to practice it a whole lot before you do a whole lot of riding. And others, like this one, you've got to practice a lot. You gotta just really work on those things consistently to keep reminding him, kind of make it to where it's habit. That he doesn't want to help you out at all. It's more of a repetition from habit, from habit of responding in that way, rather than him thinking through a process. He's just by chipping away at it, repeating it over and over and over again, you kind of make some headway with him. do see progress being made with him, so I am pleased with that. You know, we've made progress. You know, we get him blanketed every day, and we just keep doing all these things with him that kind of chip away at it. That reactiveness and that mistrust he has for people. He just doesn't trust anybody, and makes it hard to get along with him, because he just doesn't trust you. He doesn't trust anybody. He'd rather avoid you. He'd rather not be around you. And so, you know, that those first interactions with a horse when they're young is so important. You know, you build that trust early on with a horse. You know, you either let them alone or you do a really good job when they're young. Because if you do a poor job when they're young, and you lose their trust, and it's hard to get that trust back. He's really getting better right there, getting softer right there. You know, he just sits there, gets concerned about who's behind him, what's coming up behind him, and wants to run off. But we've worked on that one rein stop so much that he thinks about stopping, and he finds relief when we do stop. And so we've been able to make progress there. There, that's better. So this new arena, that was the first time we've kind of went all the way around it, and it's a pretty good successful ride right there. So want to let him know I'm getting off. Don't want to get into a wreck when I'm getting off. As I said, that was a pretty successful ride for him. So that'll be our update with Apache for this week, and we'll catch you on the next one.